You're watching the Transporter YouTube channel, 350,000 mile review.
So I got my truck all cleaned up today, getting ready to make the next trip to Alabama. But that's not what this video is about. This video is a 350,000 mile plus Ford F350 2020 review. And I'm going to go over things I like about it, things I don't like, things I wish I could have done different, things I wish I would have ordered when I got it new. So we'll just start back here and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So the first thing to know is that this truck is connected to that trailer, which is a 2021 Shipsy Gooseneck, and it's been connected to that trailer 90% of its life. So it's almost always been towing. But we'll just start back here. I'll go over things that I like about the truck, don't like, as we go around. The first thing, when I got this new, it had 8 miles. So I put every mile on it. I wish that I would have took it right away and got it ceramic coated. And I wish I would have got the protective film to put on areas like this and on the front, which I'll show you in a little bit. The other thing, I thought that these alloy wheels looked cool, right? But the reality is you can't, if you're over the road and you're putting a lot of miles on, you need to be able to rotate your wheels. Well, the inside dual is a steel wheel, so you can't rotate front to back, stuff like that. The other thing about these wheels, which if you come in here with the camera, I'll show you, this oxidizes right here, and it makes the valve stems leak, and it happens quite a lot. A steel wheel, I don't have any problems with the inners. It's the alloys, and they always leak right there, and I clean them up when they put new tires on. Always have an issue with that. Now I run the cheapest tires I can find for the summer. In the winter I try to find something a little better, but I run like 70,000 miles a year on average, and the back tires wear out the fastest no matter what brand it is. So these will last like 50,000 miles, something like that. But as you can see, these are already getting close, which is perfect time because it's almost winter. Coming forward, the running boards, I like them, but this is a 2-wheel drive truck. It doesn't actually need it. You can get in and out without it. I don't know. It's something that it was just on there. I didn't ask for it, whatever. When I went to the dealer, this truck was sitting there. I didn't order it. And I don't know why I didn't order one. I was just in a hurry, I guess, which I didn't need to be, but when you go to the dealer and new truck, you're like, sign me up. I didn't get power mirrors. These are manual in and out. They do, the glass does adjust, but we can come around to the front. I can show you on the front. If you want to come through here, I'll show you. This is my one boo-boo right here. I have a dent right here. I don't know if you can see that, but that's the only ding I've got so far. Knock on wood, right? But I would have, again, like when I got it new, like I should have put that protective film here. Or at least one of like the old man bug guard, because I do have little dings and scratches and stuff from rocks, and you can't stop that, no matter how well you drive or how far back you stay from somebody, you still get the rocks. This was one of the first things that went out, and I'll show you. These gas shots lasted 10,000 miles. That was it. So I'm always hooking up and unhooking my winch. So I don't leave power to that because it's just, there's no reason to, right? And I don't want to have 12 volts running under my truck, something happened, burn the truck. So I'm always hooking and unhooking it. So I didn't even bother with replacing those. I just channel lock it, you know. But it is what it is. Something you just got to live with. Now, this truck did blow up the CP4 pump at 34,000 miles. And that's because I just didn't know. I didn't know you needed additives. You know, I figured new diesel truck, I didn't know. It was my first truck. I'll show you guys the additives that I use, and I'll show you what Ford told me to use. Luckily, it was at 34,000 miles. It was still warranted. I did do this system afterwards, which is the S&S fuel disaster kit. So I did add the S&S fuel disaster kit after the CP4 pump went. And that's supposed to catch all the debris and keep it from going through your injectors, into your fuel tank, through your whole fuel system. So supposedly, if the CP4 pump goes again, this is supposed to catch it, I guess. Now, they gave me additives, Ford did, and then I also used another additive, and I'll show you all that towards the end of the video, but I haven't had any more issues with the CP4 pump since doing those additives, so I'm just going to stick with it, right? The other issue with these trucks, and I've heard of other people, is that they boil the batteries. And I don't know if it's from having to idle at night sometimes, or if because this truck has dual alternators, but the batteries only last like a year and a half, and they boil, and then they smell like rotten egg, and then you're changing them at Walmart in Kentucky or something, you know. The other thing is these hoses. I don't know who came up with this, but they just have these squeeze clamps. And you see I've had to add hose clamps because it'll just seep. Why? I don't know. Like, these could be brass. They could, there has to be a better way than that right there. It doesn't make sense to me. So, the only things that I've had to change under the hood on this truck is adding these. Add this filter system. Ford did the CP4 pump the first time under warranty. It's mosquitoes. And I haven't had to do anything else until last week. I'm at 362,000 miles. And last week, my AC compressor went out. So I had to change that. And my fan clutch went out the same week. Now, the fan clutch didn't leave me stranded. It was still working. It just wasn't working on high mode. So I was out in Idaho, and I was pulling up, through the mountains and whatnot, and I was about 25,000 pounds, and it would start to overheat as I would get to the top, and I realized that fan clutch wasn't kicking to high. Now, I don't know how long it hasn't been working on high, but it definitely wasn't. So I did the fan clutch, did the full AC system, everything but what's in the dash, and changed out the antifreeze to brand new AMSOIL antifreeze. And I also did the serpentine belt for the first time. So the serpentine belt was original, 362,000 miles. It made it. So I put it in the truck under the seat as a spare, right? So other than those things that just went out last week, the fan clutch, AC compressor, that's it. It has original injectors, everything, original turbo, alternators, all that. Now I have done, of course, brakes, wheel bearings, ball joints. Tie rods are original. I did the shocks. which they need to be done again. I did them around 150,000 miles, and I think they need to be done again. But other than that, that's it. So this truck owes me nothing. You know, it has 362,000 miles, so I can't be upset about having to fix something. You know, what car has that many miles and the AC still works? None. So I'm gonna go ahead and close the hood. If I can get my channel locks off. We're gonna come around here and we're gonna get inside. I keep these there, but we're gonna go ahead and get inside. I'll show you some of the stuff inside. So let's go. So getting in, you'll realize this truck has rubber floors. This is an XLT. So that's one of the things I would have changed when I ordered this truck. Well, I didn't order it. When I got this truck, is I would have probably went for a Lariat, but it was about the money, you know, and I was trying to get into this as cheap as I could. So, you know, I don't have power seats. I don't have air conditioned seats. You know, those are the things I would want. I don't like sunroofs. You know, I would never open that, but it does have with the Sync 3 stereo in it, which I didn't even know at the time about the difference, but a lot of these trucks in 2020 in the work truck models have the small, much smaller screen, a lot less options. So if you want to go ahead and get in, I'll show you what we have going. So it does have these auxiliary switches, which are great. I only use this one, and this runs my airbag system. If you're wondering what this is my ELD. That's nothing to do with the truck. That's for work. It logs my miles and all that. But this, I have an option for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more, whatever I want to turn on, right? If I want to put extra lights, stuff like that. So anyway, I'll go ahead and start it up. Now, this truck has a plug-in up front for a glow plug, but I've never had to use it. And I live where it's pretty cold. It gets like -5, what have you. I just turn the key on, wait for the glow plugs to tell me that they're working, fires right up. Now I wanted to show you, come in here, I'll show you. It might not read it very good. This has 362,908 miles. And now I'm always hauling, so that's why my average is like 10.5. You know, I'm always like 24,000, somewhere around there, 25,000 pounds. But I wanted to show you, where is it? Should show. There it is. Engine hours. 9,867 engine hours. And 3,300 of them are idling. And that's from like idling at night when it's super cold outside or super hot. So anyway, I think that's it for inside. This is a pretty basic truck. You know, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles, which is kind of good because it's less stuff to break. But at the same time, it's like sometimes you're like, man, I wish I had air conditioned seat. You know. So let's go ahead and go around to the back. I'm going to show you the oils I use, the additives I use, and let's go to the back. Okay, so I already told you I use AMSOIL for the motor. So this is what I use. It's 5W40, full synthetic, and I've been using this since probably the 3rd oil change. I didn't know what to use at first. but this is what to use. And you can order this while you're on the road. It's like $140, somewhere around there, 130 maybe. You get the 13 quarts and a Wix oil filter delivered to your house, $130. I mean, this, I'm not promoting, I'm not selling, they're not paying me for this, but I'm just letting you know, like, AMSOIL is good. Also, you can order it on the road. You don't have to come home, go try to find it, you know, make sure the stores have what you need, blah, blah, blah. It's on your doorstep. Now, I also use AMSOIL in the rear end. I have AMSOIL in the transmission. I have AMSOIL for antifreeze. You know, if I use it for everything. And I also use it in all my other vehicles because I don't have time to go chase down who's got oil and who's got oil filters, and it's just, it takes time, right? Now, for the fuel system, the CP4 pump situation, when that pump blew at Ford, when that pump blew at, and Ford replaced it, and they warrantied it, they asked me, are you using PM22? The cetane boost from Ford? And I was like, what do you mean? No, nobody told me that you had to have a special additive for your fuel. So I bought some right then, and then I've been using it in every gallon. And you can buy it in a gallon, or you can buy it in these little jugs. So what I do is I have about 10 of these, and I buy it by the gallon, refill these to keep in my toolbox of my truck, right? So every gallon gets this. I also use the Hot Shot Secret every day, and I double it up, so it gets both. And every single gallon, no matter what, I use it. Again, I'm not, nobody's promoting this, you know, this is just what I use, and I want you guys to know what to do, right? So with all that being said, you know, 362,000 miles, it's a good truck. You know, I'm not complaining. It's made me a lot of money. Would I buy another Ford? Probably. You know, it took a minute to learn the things, you know, like what oil to use, what additives, where to get things, all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I see guys with Rams and Chevys, you know, and they have learned what they like, right? This is what I like. This is what I've learned. This is all cleaned up. I'm ready to go. It's ready for its next trip. I'm going to Alabama next week. I'm going to hook the trailer up right now. Tonight, I'm going to go load it, and I'll be ready to go Sunday. And if you're interested in videos about transporting and hot shot and RV transport and whatnot, make sure you subscribe, like the video, share it. Go get you a Ford. Anyway, I think that's it. So as always, don't forget to pray for your country.